The Nintendo Switch has been officially unveiled, and I was one of the lucky few who got to play it at the New York reveal event just a few days ago. Now, full disclosure, I do want to say that Nintendo did provide travel to the event. However, this video itself is not sponsored. So, my thoughts on the Switch. I liked it. The brief time that I had and the multitude of games they had available, I did enjoy what I was playing. One of the things that really crossed my mind that I've kept in there the entire time was that this is the least Nintendo-like system since the GameCube. Usually every time there's a new Nintendo console, they've tried to do something to make it super different from PlayStation or Xbox. GameCube had the GBA connectivity and the weird controller, the motion controls of the Wii, the touchpad, the Wii U. The Switch, all it really has is the fact that you can make it portable. Other than that, like, it is a very standard console. And you can take that a multitude of ways, either them kind of becoming more mainstream and getting closer to what the core audience would want, or them kind of giving up on their innovative values and maybe not getting a whole lot of very unique games. But it's really early to say anything like that. But that is something I did notice. It's very un-Nintendo-like. Not that it doesn't say there is some in there, because obviously the Joy-Con controllers has the new rumble stuff, the different motion in there, etc. But that's something I did notice. And the console is small, like surprisingly small, but still comfortable in your hands. The whole thing is slightly smaller than a Wii U gamepad, but larger than a 3DS XL. I did take some screenshots to kind of give you an idea. And even though when you take the Joy-Con controllers off the side, even though like they're super tiny, they still felt pretty comfortable to use, even if one of them has a weird joystick right in the center of it. I don't know why that is, but it was still comfortable to use. And the whole tablet itself, it was hard to judge how heavy it was because every single one of them was tethered by a metal plate and a very heavy metal wire attaching it to whatever table, so you couldn't run off with it. So it's hard to judge how heavy it was. It's probably a little bit heavier than a gamepad, but not super heavy by any means. In fact, one of the employees was showing me how they had to drill into the base station itself to cut away some of the plastic so they can get the tether into there. And the screen itself on the Switch, it's freaking gorgeous, man. I don't know, you have to really see it in person to really see like just how pretty it is. I would say it's pretty close to like the PlayStation Vita, if not better looking in terms of just how well the games easily transfer over onto that screen. And one of the things I really wanted to test, because I didn't know if this was going to be the case or not, but I saw no difference in performance or gameplay switching from just the tablet or having it on the base station. So I don't believe the base station adds any kind of actual power to the handheld. So even just like playing it without the base station, just in that handheld form, it still looked great, it still played great. The buttons for the D-pad on the controller are weird to me. It works great for menus, and I totally get why they did that, so that when you're playing two-player mode, you have like you have buttons on it and not a D-pad. Worked great for menus, but I don't like it for something like, say, Street Fighter, where I normally use a D-pad for inputs on that. However, you do have the Switch Pro controllers, and those felt great. It felt awesome in my hands, the joysticks felt great, the buttons were large and surprisingly soft. It's way too expensive for what it is. I've heard it's like $70 for a Pro controller, which is just stupid. That's way too much, because I am going to want a Pro controller, and I will likely use the Pro controller as much as I can for most of my gaming. I don't like how expensive that is, but I do think the Pro controllers are the way to go if you can get them. And I do want to talk about how the game lineup on the Switch is better than what people think. Everyone's talking about how it's got a weak console launch or whatever, but a lot of the things that they showed there were really, really cool, and a lot of them are better than you think they're going to be. For one, ARMS. That was not a great way in the presentation trailer to show off ARMS. Like, that game is actually fun, and it's got way more depth than you expect. If you want to see even more of it, I've got plenty of footage of it over on my gameplay channel, ProJared Plays. But you can switch out the arms, you don't have to use motion controls. ARMS was fun. I liked ARMS quite a bit. 1-2 Switch, also really, really fun. Don't know if it's going to be a game that I'm going to pick up right at launch, simply because I don't know how often I'm going to have people over to do two-player mini games like this. It really should have been a pack-in title, because it would have been great. But if you're looking for a fun multiplayer game, 1-2 Switch is good. Probably one of the most fun ones there that a lot of people weren't expecting was Snipper Clips. This is a 2-player cooperative puzzle game where you really don't get full instructions on what exactly it is you're doing, but you know what the goal is. You have to rotate your bodies to clip each other, to fill outlines, or to get objects over to one area from another. It's kind of, it gets really, really fun. There's a lot of communication. Snipper Clips is great. I really recommend picking up Snipper Clips. I'd rather play Snipper Clips over 1-2 Switch or ARMS any day. That one was awesome. Also played Sonic Mania. It's coming to all the platforms. Played it on the Switch. You can see more of that over on my gameplay channel. Recommend that over there. Also played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is a port of the Wii U version, but with more stuff added in. 5 new characters, including the Squids, my favorite Dry Bones coming back, all new courses, return of a couple of items, including Boo, so you can actually steal items, and the Feather from Mario Kart. But most importantly, Mario Kart 8 brings back the Battle Mode. And I played the Battle Mode, and my god, is it still fun. I was so happy to see the Battle Mode come back, and I still had fun with it right away. And even had the different Battle Modes available. You have a classic balloons, where you have 5 balloons, and you can pop them. You can use mushrooms to steal. You can use a feather to steal mushrooms as well. And you can hold 2 items. That was great. They also had the bomb mode, where you just constantly throw bombs at each other. You don't throw bombs nearly as far as you could in, say, the GameCube or previous games, but you still have the bomb mode. Mario Kart 8, if for whatever reason you did not have that on the Wii U or never got all the DLC for it, it is going to be worthwhile on the Switch, and that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I had it on the Wii U, enjoyed it, didn't get all the DLC for it, so I do think getting the Switch version will be worthwhile, and that's going to be one of the better games for Switch. Of course, there's also Zelda, and I don't know what more I can possibly say about it. I mean, it's going to be a freaking phenomenal game on both the Wii U and the Switch, and it's going to be an awesome launch title. So overall with the Switch, the price is fine, $300 is fine. I think it would be way better if it did have a pack-in title. 1-2 Switch just seems perfect for it. Now the big thing I want to say is that I like the Switch, I am going to get one. However, it's not a launch day system. You don't need it launch day. The only reason you would get it day one is because you really want to play the new Zelda on the Switch specifically. If you've already got a Wii U and you just want to play Zelda, just get the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild. It'll be just as fun on that. That's the only real reason to get the Switch day one, is because you want to play Zelda on it. Even games like 1-2 Switch, Snipper Clips, again, are those super fun. None of those are worth buying a system outright for. However, the Switch is going to become absolutely worth owning very, very soon, with Mario Kart coming out in April, and more importantly, Splatoon 2 coming out in summer. I personally think by the time Splatoon 2 comes out, it'll be super fun and worthwhile, and that alone is going to be great. But if even that isn't enough for you, Super Mario Odyssey coming out in the holidays, that's going to be the time to get the Switch. If Super Mario Odyssey actually makes its holiday release, because I've heard that before. Remember how many times Super Mario Galaxy got delayed? Ugh, that's what I'm expecting for Odyssey. That said, Odyssey looks freaking great. So the Switch, I do like it. I do enjoy what I played with it. The improvements to the online, the removal of friend codes, them actually getting a paid subscription service, so hopefully they have better dedicated servers and stuff for the online. I don't know how I feel about the fact that they're using a phone or tablet app for parties and voice chats and etc. I get it, because that way you can have that stuff when you're not home and you've got your Switch portable with you. But I also feel like I'm so used to what is the norm is. It's weird and bizarre to me, and that's a natural response to it. So the online stuff, especially with friends lists, online lobbies, etc., that's going to be a wait and see kind of thing. Like if it's worthwhile when I actually use it, then I'll believe it. But until then, I'm going to remain extremely skeptical of that. So overall thoughts on the Switch, it was positive. Yes, but then again, I was in a place where there's a lot of spectacle, a lot of show, and a lot of excitement. Playing it early and seeing it in the first impressions, it's natural to get excitement from that. But I am going to get it, of course, because I want to play the Nintendo games on it. I do want to see what kind of third-party support it gets, and more importantly, maintains throughout its lifespan, unlike the Wii U. It is difficult to recommend getting it day one, unless you really want to play Zelda on it. I personally think it's going to be better to get it sometime this summer once Splatoon 2 comes out, because you can pick up Mario Kart, Zelda, Splatoon 2, and you got 3 really solid titles there, and a bunch of more fun small side ones too, like Snipper Clips or ARMS or Bomberman. And if those aren't enough for you, definitely by the time Super Mario Odyssey comes out, Super Mario Odyssey is going to be a game you're going to want to play. If you're still looking for more information on the Switch, be sure to check out my interview I did with Reggie Fils-Aimé, the president of Nintendo of America, and head over to my gameplay channel where I posted my impressions and gameplay of several of the titles that they had there. What do you guys think? Are you excited for the Switch? Let me know in the comments, and as always, please subscribe.